This is teaching for women. So you don't know what you speak when you talk about his mercy, having him be your rest. Do you realize those are idioms for keeping the commandments? Entering into life is keeping the commandments. What he told the rich man in Matthew 19. Because you don't know what it means to have a relationship. Christians talk about this relationship with God, but they do not know him. 1 John chapter 2, verse 3 and 4, for this is how we know him when we keep his commandments. And him who says he knows him, has a relationship with him, and doesn't keep his commandments is a liar, and the truth is not in him. For him to abide with you, he tells you 3 times in John 14 how he will abide with you. It's when you love him and keep his commandments. Matthew 22, verse 37 through 40, where all the law and prophets hang on those 2 commandments. They were not new commandments. 2 John chapter 1 tells you this. They were ones from the beginning. He fulfilled what was prophesied by all the prophets in the Old Testament, that he would come and magnify the law at Horeb in the day of the assembly. Isaiah 42 and Deuteronomy 18, verse 15 through 19. What they desired at Horeb, the life-giving water. Exodus 17, Deuteronomy 4 through 6, specifically Deuteronomy 18 quotes verbatim Deuteronomy chapter 5, what they received at the rock of Horeb in the day of the assembly, saying, let me not hear Jehovah's voice anymore, that we die not. And the people well spoken which they had spoken, they received a covenant. The covenant his son was sanctified in Hebrews chapter 10, verse 29, that you should not tread under the foot the Son of Man, and count the covenant he was sanctified in, that he was prophesied to give us, and call it an unholy thing, and then sin despite on his spirit of grace. But you Christians talk about a relationship, but you don't know him per scripture. You don't keep his commandments. You don't keep the 10 commandments. You do not enter into his eternal rest, his rest, the life-giving water, the 10 commandments that will give you rest. You don't know what that means. For Hebrews 4 tells you if you don't enter into his rest, Hebrews 3 tells you those who broke the commandments, who were disobedient, who sinned, he was grieved with for 40 years. And so they could not enter into his rest for unbelief, because they sinned. They were disobedient. Hebrews 4, if you fail to enter into his rest, keeping his commandments, if you fail to enter into his rest, Hebrews 4 verse 9, his rest, his Sabbath, if you look that rest up in the Strong's Concordance in Hebrews chapter 4, verse 9. It is his Sabbath. If you fail to enter into his 7th-day Sabbath, dawn Saturday to dawn Sunday, you will be taken after those who were disobedient in the wilderness, whose carcasses fell. There remains a rest for Jehovah's people. You need to keep the commandments and eat clean.